I do fantasy football.
It's my quarterback. If you guys do that, man, it's unfair.
How's your fantasy team looking this year?
I won $1 million.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Hey, this is Rory Scovel, and you're listening to My Fantasy Wife on your speakers or your headphones.
My Fantasy Wife Podcast.
Style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable.
Blair.
I watched 40 minutes of Space Jam this weekend. It's 40 minutes of my life. I'm not going to get back.
Put that in your pipe and smoke.
Gary.
They had already announced he was leaving. He just didn't want to wait out the 30. You know how when you quit a job, you got to give him 30 days or whatever.
2 weeks. You've never had a real job, have you?
No.
He is the man in the fantasy world.
Drew.
You're not a Peyton Manning fan,
I'm not a Manning fan.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Lewis.
You love Burger King.
Yeah, I like Burger King.
Yeah.
Not the game. We're talking about practice, man.
You're listening to My Fantasy Wife Podcast. www.myfantasywife.com.
Welcome, listeners, to My Fantasy Wife, the weekly sports meets comedy meets marriage podcast, where a husband and wife discuss sports, fantasy leagues, and their impact on pop culture and relationships, including their own. I'm the wife, comedian Blair Postman. Yep,
Hey.
And I am joined by my husband and sports stat expert, Mr. Gary Silent Hames. We're also joined by Hot Topics and social media maven, comedian Drew Harrison.
Hello.
Hello! And rounding things out, comedian, sound engineer, and man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop.
We call him the silencer. You never hear him coming.
To never miss our weekly episodes and extras, subscribe at iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Please find us on Facebook and Instagram at My Fantasy Wife Podcast, Twitter at My Fan Wife, and please, for the love of Christ, support the podcast by liking and rating us on iTunes. Not even with money, just with liking and rating. Miss any of that? Go to our website, myfantasywife.com, with links to everything. Gary,
Yeah.
tell us about this week's sponsor.
All right. It's Dead Coke Comedy Room.
Okay, upcoming guest this week.
Little more.
Okay.
Dead Coke Comedy, Wilmington, North Carolina. It's got weekly events, blah, 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 featuring local and regional comedians, supposedly like free comedy bingo every Tuesday, hosted by that dude and his sidekick.
This is not a TV.
Yakety smackety.
It's not a visual medium.
No, it's, all right, you're right. It's Louis Bishop and in-booth sidekick Lou Mercante, as well as nationally touring comics from TV and movies every weekend. Whether you're local or visiting the Wilmington, D.C., what the fuck? Wilmington, North Carolina area on your beach vacation, be sure to check them out at deadcrowcomedy.com. That's deadcrowcomedy.com.
Gary, I don't want to...
You're afraid that our sponsors can be angry with us for that reason?
Are you open to some notes?
Sure.
Do you feel like that was a lot of enthusiasm for our sponsor?
What?
Okay. Are you losing enthusiasm for our sponsor?
He's taking a knee on it.
You need to. Well, we'll
Who's our
get to that.
sponsor? Who's our sponsor again?
Dead Crow Comedy.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, well, you know what? Next
That's
week,
that club on Front Street.
starting next week for a while, we're just gonna do people we like.
What does that
Like
mean?
I don't know, like
That give us money.
no. I mean, no one's gonna give us money, real money. I mean, and more money than we could possibly hope to get.
I'm not a prostitute. I only do people I like now.
No, I was meant in the ad space.
In the what?
No, like not even people we know. Just like
Okay.
And this week's sponsor is Morgan Freeman.
Oh, wow.
He's got a great voice.
I was thinking Nelson Mandela. That's
All
pretty
right,
much the same
okay,
person,
this
right?
week and then Nelson Mandela.
Played
and
by
like
Morgan
some fun
Freeman.
facts about him. We'll make it a fun fact. You know what? We're doing that.
I don't know Nelson Mandela, Blair.
And it's not about knowing them in person.
Well, how could I like him if I've never met him?
Okay, that you respect.
Respect.
Okay. All right, guys, upcoming guest this week, episode 129.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 129, guys. Our guest.
Whatever.
It's, you know what? I have no patience for that fake news bullshit about how we haven't done this many.
I think I would know if I'd been here 129 times.
You've been here more than that. Remember the time we had to leave without recording because of the cat surgery?
So you tell me I've been here 129 and I've never picked up dog poop once.
I know, not even one time. Okay.
No.
All right, guys.
We make you, but you don't do it.
Right. Well, you ask. He doesn't do it. This week, episode 129, our guest is comedian out of Kansas City, AARON NAYLOR, everybody.
Yeah.
Woo! AARON. And some other fun stuff coming up in October and November. We're working on some stuff, but among other folks we're going to be on, Vanessa Gonzalez out of Austin and Christian Spicer based out of L.A. and more to come. So
wow.
Yeah.
Oh. That's not it? That's not the last comedians we'll ever have?
There's more. There's a lot of invitations out.
I got you.
And we're waiting.
I think I got mine in the mail.
Oh, good. That's great. Your invitation is all the time, Gary. You're invited here every week.
And just as a little tease, super special, ultra famous, and exquisitely funny guest comedian coming up later this year that we just started looking into today. So everybody can look forward to that.
Ooh, teaser.
Yeah.
I like that.
Who's the special guest we discussed today?
It's a special guest.
Somebody being a special guest on our show.
All right, we're going to have to think about it.
Does it have to do...
me? Oh, it's me. Well, I'm
going to be a guest
in,
on your own show?
Well,
yes.
Here's the thing. I'm going to be back. I'm going to be flying back from New York the 22nd of October. And I'm going to be in the airport around the time that you would tape. And we could have canceled, but Gary says that you guys don't need me. So
okay, all right.
That should be an interesting episode.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to call in. I'm going to have a game. Somebody's going to have to make the game, you know.
I made the game last week. I got a lot of criticism for it, but I made it.
Someone's going to have to make the outline.
We've never made an outline before. Why are we
you know what? Okay.
What are these outlines you keep talking about?
You know what? I'm just going to start posting them to Facebook, taking pictures of them so people can see. All right, can we get a little... I wanted to notice this. So if you review us in iTunes... We will give you a shout out. We'll read the review.
I'll throw in $100.
And no, I don't think we're allowed to do
$100 a reviewer.
I think that's illegal. Against the user rules. We'll read it and we'll tell everyone how great you are. And I don't know, something else good will happen.
That mean can I do that?
It doesn't really count if you do it.
You wouldn't tell me how great I am.
Well, you're great. You're great. You don't have to do it. All right. Woo! This has been a weird intro. It's been a weird day. Can we get a little...
What music is playing there? What
was
that?
Some kind of Mexican resort music, it sounded like.
That was exactly what it was called. Mexican resort music or something like that.
All right, nice.
Wow.
Can I get a little something for
How'd you do that?
All right, guys, we're going to go into a little fact-checking. And this is the part of the podcast where we correct the mistakes we made last episode to make room for the mistakes we're going to make this episode. You see, this is something else you'd probably have to do. All right, Gary thought Morgante, which is in our sponsor note, Lou Morgante, who is the in-booth sidekick of Louis Bishop for Comedy Bingo every week.
I like side tit.
Side tit. Okay.
In-booth side tit.
You know what? You can use that one, Louis, if you want to.
In-booth
and
side tit.
my in-booth side tit. Lou Morgante. Anyway, Gary also thought Morgante was the name of the kissing bandit from back in the day in the 70s, but her name was Morgana.
It's more of a joke.
Yeah, and, well, it felt real. Felt real when I was listening. And Morgana was her first name, by the way. It was Roberts. She no longer, according to Wikipedia, no longer gives interviews. Really? She lives in Ohio with her husband. No, she's like 60-something.
Oh.
Yeah.
So say if she's dead, that would...
No, she's alive and lives in Ohio and would like to move on, I guess, with her life. All right. Also, we talked about selling one's soul at the crossroads. There's all kinds of
Robert Johnson, though, is
issues.
the famous one.
Yes, and so the one who really... No, I was saying there was all kinds of back and forth about different iterations of this. But leaving Ralph Macchio and such aside, the blues artist who was reputedly had sold his soul to the devil was Robert Johnson, who died in 1938 at age 27.
Played a mean slide guitar, though.
No. And I'm imagining, is this him?
No, this is Skip James.
Oh, okay.
And sold his soul as well.
And
my for a pint of Gatorade.
Yeah, not as...
That seems like not good deal making to me.
Back in the day, it was.
Oh, okay. Well,
wasn't even invented yet, so it was hard to get.
Yeah, that's when Gatorade was worth something. Okay. So, and then finally... I had a kind of a word of the day last episode. It was Zaz, and and there just seemed a little confusion about it. According to the Urban Dictionary, zazz is a quantifiable amount of something special. The higher the amount, the more likely it is to be successful and awesome. The higher the amount of zazz contained in any exploit or
what about a
thing,
zazzy walrus? You ever give anybody a zazzy walrus?
I think that's something else.
Okay.
I feel like that's something
Please
else.
tell me what a zazzy walrus is.
I've made it up. I was a frosty walrus is the one I'm familiar
Nope.
with. I'll tell you that.
I'll take that. I'll bite. What's a frosty walrus?
Nope.
I don't think we can talk about that.
The walrus has Alka-Seltzer because he's got an upset stomach. So those are facts.
What?
A frothy walrus.
It would be funny to try and
Stop.
give an answer to that question that didn't violate any sort of FCC regulations.
I mean, we're not regulated by that, but yes. Let's pretend we are. Moving on. All right, guys. What?
That's a walrus.
Yeah.
At SeaWorld.
Oh, I thought you're like cuckoo.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, how about that? Let's, as we go into hot topics, how about that hot lick for going into hot topics with?
Hold on.
That was so weird.
That was funny.
Oh, boy.
Whenever you're ready. Beatles.
Okay. All right, here we go. It's hot topics time here, guys, in this really trippy and freaky episode of the My Fantasy Wife podcast. So, guys, I don't know.
Right. Nice choice.
I don't know if you heard about this, but Donald Trump, not a fan of the protests during the American anthem at various NFL events, not a fan of Steph Curry, not a fan of quote-unquote sort of ungrateful millionaires, which is ironic coming from him, complaining about anything. What do you guys think about his statements regarding the okay, you guys were just talking about that other thing.
I just showed him a definition.
Okay.
I now know what a frosty walrus is.
Okay. Well, keeping that in mind, Donald Trump
He doesn't need to keep that in mind.
has spent this weekend complaining about NFL quote-unquote millionaires protesting anything. And you know what? I'm right here. I can see you guys talking to each other.
It's in flames. It's fucking crazy.
Oh my God! Do you see this?
No, what is in flames?
So the Lions lost on a last-minute play today.
Yeah.
And they walked.
It was very controversial. They
Wow.
probably should have won.
Yeah.
And they got back to their locker room and they had like their food ready for them, except for they opened the oven and someone left it on too long and their food was engorged in flames.
Oh my gosh.
Engulfed, not engorged.
It was engorged.
Well, I just told him what a
Engorged was
frosty walrus was. So
That's what that
engorged
is,
came
yeah.
up.
It was
Engorged.
He has engorged on the mind.
So let's say that
Yes.
let's say that the flames were
Engulfing.
engorging this oven little thing
You
here.
don't.
Oh, I got it now.
And maybe the lions
No.
punched it in the stomach and the flames came out of its nose.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, poor Detroit.
You know, you do something. You say, I'm going to do this project. I'm going to keep going. We're going to keep doing the podcast. We're going to keep booking guests. We're going to keep trying to come up with new and better segments. And then it's just like, and then it's 3 years later.
Oh, poor Detroit.
I'm gonna get me a hat made that features a big fat white walrus on the front with a runny nose.
Okay. Speaking of which,
Yeah,
What's it gotta be a big fat white one?
speaking of
That's
big
just what I
fat white
picture.
walruses,
That's just what I pick. It has nothing
That-
to do with anything.
then Donald Trump.
Walruses are kind of big. That's what I'm saying.
Donald Trump, guys. Donald Trump.
Can the walrus have a "Make America Great" hat
Yes,
on it?
in fact, I'm going to.
That's a good idea.
I'm going to insist upon it. If there are any cartoonists or illustrators or graphic designers out there, we would like a big fat walrus
With a runny nose.
A white walrus.
with a red "Make America Great Again"
Yes,
hat
right.
logo of some
That'd be
kind
awesome.
of. Anyway, he is dismayed with the protests by NFL players who aren't supposed to protest against or for anything because they make money, which would then imply to me that Donald Trump, who has an enormous amount of money, shouldn't complain about anything either.
Yeah.
He's still salty with the NFL.
Well, I just wanted to take this as a time to remind everyone that Donald Trump destroyed the USFL. in his pursuit of trying to destroy the NFL. So I just think that it's, there's, besides the fact that he likes to keep the people fighting each other because that helps him retain his base, I think he just is, he very blatantly lost out to the NFL, something he was involved in. I'm sure he would say that everyone else fucked him up and he fucked it up and he was great. But his pursuit of the lawsuit and trying to change when the USFL played and everything else that we did a lot on in episode 57 of this series of our show, he blatantly lost, and I think he's still got a chip on his shoulder about anytime he can put down. And it's not like I think the NFL is a bunch of great guys, but I think any chance he can get to both criticize people of color and the NFL at once, that I think he's all over it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I definitely agree with that.
That would have worked. That league would have worked because they had so much money. There was no competition this spring. You think America doesn't want like real football year round?
We need it.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
how many times do you hear people complaining like 47 weeks to football?
Right.
Only 14 Sundays till I feel complete again.
Right.
Yeah.
Including people in this room.
But the thing wouldn't be.
Yeah, there was some truth to what I said.
Right.
I tried going to Buffalo Wild Wings in May and getting drunk all Sunday, and it just didn't.
It wasn't the same.
No.
Did not feel the same.
But if I had spring football to watch,
yeah, but
would be
Donald
completely
Trump
normal.
destroyed that, and it's just funny. Like now, nothing could bring the owners and the players together, but Donald Trump complaining about them could. So, I guess they could take some solace.
Well,
in that.
yeah, it just goes to show you, like you never know where the blessing will come from, and this one comes from Donald Trump. So they're like, it's okay. Now we all have someone equally to hate. It's fine.
It's kind of it's kind of like when like I've ever worked in an office where there was a boss who was atrocious and no one could stand and did bad things to people and screamed at people and said terrible things to people, and the boss was finally let go. But when that happened, I think the camaraderie really fell apart.
Right.
So maybe
you didn't have that person to hate anymore.
As much as I hate Donald Trump, is there some part of me that should be glad he's around? Okay, good.
No.
All right.
I see what you tried to do there.
I did not want that to be the lesson. I'm just making sure. I'm just trying to keep an open mind. All right. Does anyone have anything else to say about the USFL or Donald Trump or the NFL or
No,
Steph Curry? I mean, this brought LeBron James and Steph Curry together.
Yeah.
That's something.
Boy, LeBron James was angry, too.
Yes.
But some of those tweets
rightfully
were quite
so,
vicious.
man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That was a very childish thing.
Well,
for a
he called.
president to do.
Now, I was reading. I hadn't really read the tweets. I had just heard that he'd said things. But I was reading some of the tweets last night, and he called them sons of bitches.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
Trump called them sons of bitches.
I love whose response. Whose mom was it?
Curry's mom.
Kaepernick's mom, right?
Kaepernick's mom.
Yeah, it was Kaepernick's mom's like, well, I'm a one proud bitch then.
Yeah, because that would make her a bitch.
Right.
How
does a president of the United States call... I mean, it's...
We've been asking this question for months now.
Yeah.
Insane.
Well, I just don't even... I mean, can I say the joke that I've never done on stage?
No, please don't.
About what Donald Trump made you do?
I don't care what you say.
Please.
No, go ahead. I want to hear
No,
it.
Donald Trump...
Now you said it.
No, Donald Trump is so bad he made Gary vote for Hillary Clinton, which he never wanted to do. I, of course, was fine with it. But Gary was, Gary's more of a Bernie guy.
So what's the joke?
No, I'm not. So you're making joke. Now you're changing
That part
the whole...
was a joke.
Yes.
What was the
It was
joke?
a lie.
Well, it was a joke, but it's not even a joke because, it doesn't...
Set it up like you would on stage.
I've never done it. That's why. I've never found a
Listen,
way to
let's
make it...
just stop this right now. We'll all go home. Everybody meet at open mic.
Yes.
And we will hear Blair say that.
Okay, next Thursday.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Hey, give it up for your next comedian, Blair Postman. She's got one joke. Here we go.
All right. Hey, so guys, I've never seen certain words before on a sign. Like this one word.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second to just say that now?
You're getting heckled on the one joke.
Now in that logo that we were talking about, I'm picturing the walrus wearing. Do you remember you remember the tank top from the comedy festival with the an otter on the front? I'm picturing the walrus wearing that too tight sea otter tank top.
Nice. Yeah. I like it. I like it.
Now I want to hear this joke about Trump.
It's not a joke. It's just a premise. I don't know how to make a joke. It's not even funny. It's ridiculous. I can't make any political jokes because I just come off making being angry.
You can.
No, it's not even a joke. She's just stunned because I hate the Clintons all my life. I'm a Republican, basically. You're a socially
the last
liberal.
person
in the history of. Well, that's true. I'm socially liberal, but I am.
You're a socialist.
Are you fiscally conservative?
Fiscally and foreign policy, I'm ultra conservative. So I would never have voted for a member of the immediate Clinton family on pain of death for a million years, and yet I did. Because I know it was funny. These jokes almost write themselves.
It's like nobody will know how.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
That was good.
And that was all Bishop laughing. That's all you heard. Right?
Yes. Practically gave himself a frothy walrus.
Okay. Oh, what's that? Is there some change of topic music? I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. This is a weird.
That was the name of my fantasy team a few years ago. There you go.
Oh, do I get to be a lady? Gary, do you fancy yourself Jerry in that scenario?
No, I'm George.
Well, then who's Drew?
I don't know.
I'm Kramer.
I think Lewis is Kramer.
Okay.
I think Drew is George.
What do I?
You're Jerry.
George.
I could be the dentist that converted to Judaism for the jokes.
For the jokes?
Yeah.
He's an anti-dentist?
Yes.
Right, okay. All right, was that Seinfeld riff
You could be Sue Ellen Mischke.
All right, guys.
The other day I saw Blair walking around town just wearing a bra as a top.
Okay, we can't just run through a bunch of Seinfeld premises now. We got to move on. All right. Except not as funny.
Right.
College football, guys. What's happening in it? Discuss.
Oh, I watched a game last night. It was awesome.
Oh, did
Which
you?
one did you watch?
I watched Penn State against Iowa.
That was
a good game.
Yeah,
Why was it so?
They won on a miracle in the last play of the game.
Right.
Yeah, it was a defensive battle. See, I'm an old school kind of guy.
You want them to run the ball and play defense.
Yeah, you go up there and you sock them in the mouth, and then you go and you get some concussions.
Did that happen?
I thought you meant you were going streaking down by the quad.
You do that at the end.
Okay.
At the end.
When you've had too many concussions to know what you're doing.
Right.
That's what you do.
Right.
Oh, so what about this game? Was there a lot of fisticuffs?
It was a beautiful defensive battle, but the offenses were doing well enough. Iowa's offense was horrible the first half, pretty much, but Penn State was doing great. But Iowa was keeping them out of the end zone. And
now, are you a fan of either of these teams, or do you just like college football?
I don't even like college football.
Penn State, that would have been a massive upset too had they not pulled that game out.
Right,
they were definitely favored by about 700 points.
But no, it was a great game. I mean, most of the time I don't really like college football.
What made you watch that game?
I don't know. I was just flipping through and it was on, and it was like the first quarter, and it got me right from the get go. And I like good defense. I like a running back versus a linebacker, and they were building that whole story up. So that kind of got me in there, and then I just enjoyed the rest of the game.
Did you see any of the highlights from the Florida-Kentucky game too? It was one of those kind of the defense was making big plays, and then Florida miraculously won at the end.
Are there any teams that are doing especially unexpectedly well or poorly this season?
Florida State's doing unexpectedly poorly. Yes. They were supposed to be the dominant team in the ACC. They're 0-2.
Oh, that's
lost to the Wolfpack.
They lost to NC State. It was at Florida too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, lost at home to NC State.
Yeah, Drew was so upset.
The four of us could beat NC State at our home field.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
I agree.
Us four Seinfeld cast members.
I do have.
None of us are the main four. We're all just random other four.
I do have the 40 speed of Peyton Manning.
Right.
I've heard some of that. The funny thing about that is how loud it is.
Yes.
It's about 3 times louder than normal.
Now, the college, but is there, besides Florida State, is there anything about what's going on in college football?
Georgia in a good way. Like, they lost their starting quarterback. A redshirt freshman jumped in, and he's been phenomenal.
Oh, really?
They destroyed Mississippi State yesterday.
May I ask a question, please?
Yes.
What does red shirt mean? I've always wondered that. I don't know what that means.
So you go to school for a year, but you don't play in any of the games. So
Why?
you can practice, but just like say there's a guy that's better than you. Like, say you're a freshman running back and the junior and senior are ahead of you.
That would never happen, but yes, go ahead.
So they just redshirt you. That way you have an extra year to play.
of eligibility.
But you're not going to get any playing time anyway, so they want you to learn their offense, take a year off.
Right. The trick is that you have 5 years of to finish your 4 years of eligibility. They leave an extra year in case you get injured or whatever.
Yes.
But you can choose to not count your first year. So basically, because a lot of kids come out of high school, they're not really as developed physically. They haven't lifted weights. They haven't learned, a real coach's system of plays. So they take them basically out of the games and sit them aside for a year and teach them everything and let them lift weights.
And that way they don't lose that year.
Yeah. And then they still have 4 years of eligibility.
So I can't play any games at all?
No. If you play a game, they take the
Well, you can play. If you decide you want to put the kid in game 3, you can put him in, but then that year counts.
Right.
Like it wouldn't count
the
if
red
they
shirt
didn't play
goes away.
So it's a gamble. It's
Right.
a gamble, Lewis. What are you going to do?
But sometimes your 2 quarterbacks get hurt, and you got to throw a brand new freshman in there.
So that's what happened.
Yep. And he has been fantastic.
All right.
He hadn't been turning the ball over. He's been throwing some of these passes they're just ridiculous.
Once he gets to the Cowboys, he's gonna.
How's Wofford doing, Garrett?
I don't know. T-Dogs. I haven't looked it up.
All right.
Don't know.
All right. Can we have another change topic music there, Mr. Kramer? All right, guys. NFL Week in Review. Can I actually get our special NFL music? I feel like I'm a half step behind today. I've been doing a lot of paperwork. A little fried. I don't know.
I feel like maybe.
Should we just... You want to do a new one? Just do it right now?
I feel like maybe Lewis is a lane.
Okay, let's go back to this.
Yes.
Lewis is a lane.
Yeah.
Am I Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the boring, clean one. All right, that.
Or either you're George.
No, I don't think I am George. No. And it's not from a comedy standpoint.
We all call you George behind
I
your
just
back.
think that he is really much of the time, Seinfeld's the straight man in that episode. He's not really delivering the wacky lines or whatever. I think from a very boring, keeping the trains running on time and please don't dirty my apartment way, maybe I am. But with none of the comedic talent.
So you're saying you're Jerry or you're George?
I might be Jerry. If you might be Elaine.
What would you say this? I don't know, George. Conjugal sex, prisoner escapes. I don't have time for this. I have a cockfight to win.
Well, that was a funny episode, but we don't have time to run through all the quotes from Seinfeld. Interesting. All right. It's NFL Week in Review, guys. Well, what are the big stories so far?
You guys were talking it up outside when we were out there
Yeah,
in the
I
living
know.
room.
I said save it for the podcast.
What is going on?
Maybe
What
you'd
were
like
we talking
to.
about?
Maybe you'd like to start by visiting our own fantasy league. I'll start it. I might beat Drew by 75 points.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think you can go ahead and take that might off of it. You're going to beat me by 75.
You guys couldn't stop talking outside. I said save it for the podcast.
I know. We ran through everything we needed to talk about.
I'm done.
What happened?
Are you good? I'm good.
Could you please start over for the benefit of this podcast?
Yeah, Jerry, fine.
But it was so organic and magical down there.
Right, exactly. Which is why I always say don't talk to each other, save it for the podcast.
How are you doing?
Because I'm about fun. Guys!
Are those auto-drafted heroes going to get you there, Gary?
I don't know. Projected to win by 3,
Could
83
you
to
guys
80 at the
elaborate
moment.
by perhaps saying who some
Timmy
of your
Booth.
players
Little
are?
teeny tiny Booth is projected to lose to me now by 3 points, but it looks like it's going to be... And I'm having to depend on Ezekiel Elliott, who didn't look very good last week. So...
Who's your quarterback? Maybe we can start there.
You're just trying to cause trouble, aren't
Just
you?
come on.
My quarterback is Mr. Cam Newton.
Yeah, and he's been a little disappointed.
I'm going to cut him and draft his brother Fig.
Hate Cam Newton.
You hate Cam Newton now.
This week.
This week. That's how it starts.
I think he meant to say I ate Fig Newton.
No.
I don't like Fig Newton.
Okay. Boy, well, let's spend 15 minutes on that.
You see, the part that gets me is actual, the breading. What is that?
Is it really figs? Because
Yes.
I wouldn't eat a fig to save my ass.
It is fig.
But what is
Really?
it wrapped?
What do you
What's
think it
wrapped
is?
around the figs?
It's like
gotta
a
be-
cakey thing.
No, it's like-
It's terrible. It's the driest thing I've ever eaten in my life.
I can't believe that if I ate a fig,
fig.
and then if I ate the stuffing of a Fig Newton, they would taste similar. I
We'll
don't believe
fact
it.
check it next week. Anyway, moving on. God damn it.
All right, well, let's just...
No,
Let's
but
talk
a
about-
lot of big names are not playing well.
Let me-
Okay,
let me-
who's not playing well, Drew?
Aaron Rodgers has 4 points for me right now.
That's terrible. You know who is playing well as a big name?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah,
35 points.
Yeah,
no, I'm not happy about it.
Fantastic, Blair.
I'm completely conflicted.
I
don't like him.
I like to read Tom Brady's line real briefly today. 358 yards and 5 touchdowns and an extra and a 2-point conversion pass.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I don't feel good about it.
Let me point out.
Like him.
Here's the problem with that game. I'm sitting here rooting for Houston because they've got a rookie quarterback, Deshaun Kaiser, and they're going to New England, and they were like 13.5-point underdogs. And the whole game, they hung right in. They were ahead. They could have won, and Brady had to come back and win it. And at the end, when the New England just nipped them, it suddenly dawned on me that was my pick in the Eliminator League because I was thinking, oh, Houston will come to New England and get destroyed. I'm sitting here rooting against them the whole time. And that was my Eliminator pick was New England. And it didn't dawn on me until after the game was over.
Why didn't we do the Eliminator this year?
I did do it.
He did it.
I should have.
But anyway, so I'm 3-0 now, but I damn near lost that one.
I bet.
Who else is big name not playing so hot?
So, anybody on the Baltimore Ravens?
Oh, my God. I turned that game on this morning because I forgot about it, and then when I flipped it on the car, it was 37-0
Right. The Jaguars, who haven't done anything
at that
all
point,
year.
the Ravens had 2 first downs in the middle of the third quarter. 2.
What happened? Flacco had 28 yards.
I turned the radio on.
yards.
The first sentence I hear is, well, all those people who hate who's the Jacksonville quarterback?
Boyles.
Yeah. All these people who've been criticizing Blake Bortles should have watched this game. I don't know that I've ever seen a human being play better NFL quarterback than I've watched. I was like, are you kidding me?
But so many people picked up Baltimore's defense just for the game.
Our own Steve Wetzel. How you feeling, Steve? You like that -6 that your defense got for you today?
Well, I would like to say that I pick up different things each season. I swear to God, Bortles had a good London game last year.
Yes, not last year, 2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago. We were sitting there in bed listening to this game because we didn't realize it was on. We flipped the TV on, and it was on at 9 o'clock, and he just throwing touchdown passes left and right, and he scored 50 points.
When the NFL expands to London,
he
can be the quarterback.
Bortles,
right.
clearly.
He's going to be famous over
fish
there.
and chips, and the I don't know, the mass murder and whatever else England's famous for. Agrees with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it does.
Did they give him a cool Jack the Ripper kind of nickname, like Blake the
Ripper?
No, that's
yeah, that's too horrifying.
No, that's just kind of obvious.
Oh, you think it's a ripoff?
Blake.
Yeah.
Haha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm envisioning the walrus with the too tight T-shirt,
the frothy walrus,
having a bloody switchblade in his left hand.
No.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Do we know any artists?
I can draw some up. I'll draw some up.
Listen. You don't. I just never mind. So who else is playing terribly?
So is that a yes? We know some artists.
No, we don't. That's why I put it out there in the podcast.
No, I'll draw some up.
Well, Brian Bob is not an artist, so I don't know how you think.
All right, so you want the walrus with the runny nose?
Yes.
And a hat.
Make America Great hat.
Yes.
T-shirt, tank.
The tank top and the switchblade.
Yes, and the C
bloody
underneath.
Switchblade.
Bloody switchblade.
Okay.
Bloody
switchblade.
Right.
This is going to be a great champion of our cause. You know what?
Don't forget that tank top has a sea otter on it.
Yeah, this podcast is going to blow up once we launch that.
This might be beyond my skills, but I'm going to do my best.
I believe in you.
I'm going to do my best.
Whatever you come up with,
we can.
We're putting it out
in
there.
In all seriousness, we can outsource it to India.
Yes, we could.
We could.
You know what?
I drew
that's
this,
exactly what we're going to do.
I drew this for my
I'll
boss's birthday card.
Oh, wow. That's kind of almost exactly what I had in mind.
No.
Oh,
so,
nice.
I mean, I can just do the walrus instead.
Can I see?
People at home, Drew is now showing us a picture he drew that does not suck.
No, we are outsourcing that to India.
Okay.
Tonight.
Well, you know what? Drew will do one.
Oh, we'll have a competition.
Yes.
Okay.
Competition.
Head-to-head.
What happens though? Listen, seriously. What happens if that's why you become famous? The podcast blows up,
Fine.
and it's just but you start selling T-shirts with
that
walruses
logo on it.
with with running noses.
Yeah,
and it just becomes the biggest thing ever.
Right.
But everyone just knows you as that woman. That's
fine.
Yeah,
the
totally
frothy walrus.
Hey, we could have at the bottom.
We're not going to call him that. We're going to call him something else.
Underneath the picture, we should have the Urban Dictionary definition of a frothy walrus, with the whole where it says deaf and now the little and the phonetic spelling and everything.
No,
yeah,
that'd
be awesome.
It's going to be. He's beyond that. He's more than just that.
Right. I know.
Okay,
he's been frothy walrused, and he's out for revenge.
Wow,
right.
He's been frothy walrused.
All right, boy, we need.
What happened to Lewis this weekend? He looked really hungover. Oh, he got frothy walrus.
Was there anybody else in the football matches?
Yes.
Who was looking particular? Because
can I just read the score of your match?
Yes,
please.
please.
Did you see Beckham's catches today? We don't need to talk about
Like
this.
like Beckham?
Drew was
David
tickled
Beckham?
that you said you might win by 75 points because it actually is 92 points right now.
Oh.
And you still have players playing. So does he, in fairness.
Yes. Just not as well as my players are playing.
Right.
No.
Right.
Well,
and who else is not? There was somebody else you told me that was not doing so well, Gary, besides Cam Newton, who Drew says he doesn't like this week, which is a big damn deal, Mr. Carolina Panthers fan.
He sucks this year.
There was somebody else we were talking about downstairs. I don't remember who it was.
I don't know.
Did you hear Drew just said he sucks this year?
Cam Newton,
He does.
Who
I can't,
sucks?
I would be delusional if I didn't say
He
he's
sucked
terrible.
last year, too.
Oh, you know who
Remember,
I was-
he thanked you for taking him last year because it turns out he stunk.
Yeah, you know who I'm worried about?
I shouldn't have taken
Last
him.
week, you guys, Tim Harmston was on, and he was so excited for that Packers game against the Falcons. And then after we recorded,
Did he hurt himself?
no, I posted. He posted something.
Have we checked on him?
He
Is he
posted,
okay?
yes, I
Yeah,
checked on
somebody
him.
needs to call
I
him.
He posted something on Facebook, very serious, no joking, very serious Packers post,
okay.
and I just posted.
And then
thoughts,
have you heard from him since?
I said thoughts and prayers.
I'm
and
picturing
he-
opening like the kitchen door slowly on this like farm out 20 miles outside of Green Bay, and you see him slumped over a kitchen table unconscious with a half-drink Jack Daniels bottle, and Mary Mac's like hacked up in 7 pieces. There's blood everywhere. And it's just what I'm picturing.
What, because of
They didn't play very well.
Okay, yeah,
I mean, they really didn't play very well.
yeah, I know. What is this?
I'm trying to call him.
No, Lewis, stop.
I'm trying to get him on.
No, hang up.
Well, if they're dead, they're not going to answer. What are you worried
Change
about?
your topic music. Change your topic music.
Hold on.
Oh
Sorry.
God.
Wow.
Gary, how many fantasy leagues are you up to now?
I'm playing 12 this year. I decided
It's very
to.
tasteful.
Yes.
That's a
I'm playing-
amount of classy amount to be playing.
I'm playing
I
10
thought that
10
you
random
had been
leagues
talking
and-
to me
and
more
two-
than usual.
Yeah, and a cat team and our league.
Right. How's that cat team do? Cat team's good. Do you
Let's
have
take a look.
Bortles on the cat league, or do you have Stafford?
I probably have Stafford. He had a decent game, though. Let's
Stafford
see.
did Golden Tate did well for me,
Yes, right.
That
Uh-huh.
was something. But then they lost,
Let's
right?
see. I'm pulling up the cat team
What was
now.
the controversy?
Do you even know these players that are destroying me in this league right now?
It doesn't matter. And they're just players to me on a board game.
They're faceless pawns in my battle against you, boy.
That's right. So
That was very Game of
what was
Thrones.
what was the last minute play that Detroit lost on?
The touchdown that they called back and then had a 10-second runoff.
Cat team winning 86.4 to 64.8, and the 64.8 has already done all their players. So cat team will be 2-1 after this week.
Oh, nice.
All
Who's
cat
your
team.
name some of your players there for
Starting
the
lineup: Matthew
because
Stafford.
As we like to point out, you know that you're drafting only players from
Yeah.
cat teams,
Yeah.
but you're in some random league.
No,
so nobody else.
I can't draft anyone else, but they could draft all my good players if they
Right,
want
they
to.
could draft Bortles. They're not like
Yes,
saving
it's
the cat.
happened before. This is the first. The cat team is weaker this year, but it almost helped me because I got to take all the players that I wanted because
Right.
nobody else was going to take them because they
Right.
weren't that good.
Right.
I only had one probably in the first 3 rounds, there was only maybe 1 or 2 players.
So run down the roster of players from only cat named teams
Yes.
that you
Starting lineup would be Matthew Stafford at quarterback, Leonard Fournette and Theo Riddick at running back, A.J. Green and Golden Tate at wide receiver. I had Greg Olsen at tight end, but he's out, so I've got Eric Ebron off my bench. Stewart for Carolina at the flex, a Jacksonville defense who scored 14 points today, and Graham Gano, the Carolina kicker.
Ooh.
Nice, all right.
You picked the Panthers players that didn't kill you this week. That's good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I benched McCaffrey today, but he had a half-decent game. And I benched Cam Newton today and put Stafford in, and that was a good choice because Cam
Very
Newton has forgotten how to play football.
Yep.
All right. All right, guys. It's time to call our guest.
Also benched the Cincinnati defense who had 29 points. So.
All right. Time to call our guest, Aaron Naylor. We've spent a lot of time talking about bullshit and walrus logos. So we're going to call. Are you guys ready? Ready to talk to Aaron Naylor?
Sure.
I'm excited. Gary, will you hold this, please? I know he's going to answer because I texted him.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel good about it. I hope this is the right number.
Hello.
Is this Aaron Naylor?
Yeah.
Aaron Naylor, this is Blair Postman, and you're on the air with My Fantasy Wife podcast. How are you?
Air.
Oh, just fantastic. How are you?
I'm just wonderful. Hey, let me go around the hub here and tell you about who's in the studio with us. It's first of all,
Studio.
to my it is a real studio. To my left, it's my husband and sports stat expert, Mr. Gary Hames.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Hi, Gary.
And to his left is our hot topics and social media maven, comedian Drew Harrison.
What's up, man?
Hi, Drew. You work at Hot Topic?
I do not.
Oh, that would be great. And then rounding things out, sound engineer, comedian, and man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop.
Hey, Aaron, how are you?
Hello.
Well, Aaron, I'm going to read a bio of you to initiate the listeners into your wonderfulness. Aaron Naylor is a stand-up comedian from Kansas City, Missouri. He was the winner of the 2014 Kansas City Local Comic Standing Competition, has performed at the Devil's Cup Comedy Festival, Orlando Indie Comedy Festival, Gilda's Laugh Fest, Bird City Comedy Festival, Kansas City Comedy Festival, San Francisco Sketch Fest, Crom Comedy Festival, Memphis Comedy Festival, and placed second in the 2016 Cleveland Comedy Festival. You've also opened for real people like Brett Ernst, Ryan Hamilton, Tony Hinchcliffe, Adam Clayton Holland, and Shane Mouse. And you've also been described as a bit of a ham boy by your doctor, and one of the best young comics in the Midwest by a much more important person who was not his mom. Everyone, big round of applause for Aaron Naylor.
Yeah, Aaron Naylor.
You have a pretty sophisticated opening, Aaron. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Pretty good. So, Aaron,
Good.
as we always do with our comedy guests, we ask you to tell us some things that you love and hate about sports. And you are from Kansas City, but you said that one of the things that you really hate are the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I fucking hate the Chiefs.
Yeah, and you love the Broncos. How did this? Did you grew up your whole life in Kansas City?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so what happened there? How did they hurt you?
They did. I just don't like red.
Okay.
Huh?
Was it literally one of those 7-year-old decisions? Like,
yeah.
Don't like the uniform, and now you're like, I'm going to double down on this every year for the rest of my life.
This is a lifelong problem now.
But you do like orange.
I do like orange.
They're pretty close.
They are close, but not the same thing, luckily.
All right, so how is it being in Kansas City your whole life and not being a Chiefs fan? Not just not being a Chiefs fan, hating the Chiefs.
It's pretty easy because most of the time they're really shitty.
Okay, but now, guys, Drew and Gary, are they shitty this year? I don't think so.
No, they're undefeated.
Oh,
they're good. Yeah, they're good this year.
They got a super
they've
rookie.
Been pretty good the past couple of years. Yeah, they've got like talent. Everybody's real excited about them. But
not you, other people.
Who hates them?
Yeah,
right.
no.
You're not excited about anything, but definitely not them.
Yeah, they're gonna blow it. They suck.
What about your Broncos
they don't know
there?
How to do shit.
How did you pick the Broncos?
God,
like 7-year-old Aaron is like, I don't like red.
Yeah.
That's how I picked Dallas. I like the star.
I'm an individual. And then you somehow 7-year-old Aaron picked the Broncos. How'd that happen?
I was like, I think I may have been 7 actually. I was 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And then they won the Super Bowl. They beat the Green Bay Packers, which was really cool.
Right.
Because my brother was a Packers fan, and him and I are twins, so it's always been like a rival thing.
Yes.
And so I hate the Packers too.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
But like John Elway beat Brett Favre, and they had like Terrell Davis and all these other guys that were really, really good, and I fell in love with them. And then they won another Super Bowl the next year, and I was like, oh shit, this is my life now.
Right.
Yeah.
So John, like up until I was like, probably till today, John Elway is my hero.
But what happened today?
Oh, nothing. He's still my hero.
Oh, still your hero. Oh, I thought it was like up until today he was my hero.
Yeah,
and then he said,
murdered my family.
Right, and then he murdered my family or whatever.
What a dick.
Ate them with his big buck teeth.
Yeah, no. So is John Elway is your favorite player of all time? You love him.
Yeah. He's my horse daddy.
Now, Drew, what do you think about Peyton Manning coming back? And let me just tell you, just stop right here for a second to let you know that I do not usually do the heavy lifting in the sports question asking department of this fucking podcast. I don't know what these guys are so quiet about. But the Peyton Manning coming to Denver and winning that Super Bowl, how do you feel about him and that win? And I'll also let you know that Drew Harrison hates Peyton Manning with the fire of 1,000 suns.
Sure. So before he played for the Broncos, I didn't really care about Manning at all. I didn't like because he was really good, and he just eat shit in the playoffs.
Right.
He wasn't a Manning fan.
Yeah, I wasn't like a Manning fan. But then, the Broncos signed him, and I was like, oh, they're like the New York Yankees in the 90s. They're just buying people.
Right.
Which I was kind of mad about because I like when teams like build up from within and all that shit.
Right.
And then the Broncos won a Super Bowl. I was like, I don't give a shit at all about that. This is awesome.
Right.
This is the best.
Now you're good with that.
He's like my second favorite quarterback
of all time. Right.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
All right, fair enough.
But, yeah, I'm happy about it now. I didn't like it in the beginning, but
you became comfortable with it as time passed.
Well, let me ask you a question. Are you comfortable with Trevor Siemian now?
No, not really.
Yeah, I'm not either. I like the Broncos. I always liked them, but I'm not totally sold on him.
But is Paxton Lynch the answer?
I'm not comfortable with any of the quarterbacks they have. Paxton Lynch, especially not Paxton Lynch. But yeah, it's like when Elway quit, like a long time ago, and they had Bubby Brister for a couple of years.
Yeah. No, I hope it's not like that.
Then they had that shit. Who was that other dude? They had some other guy before Jake Plummer.
Yeah.
But, they just sucked shit for like 2 or 3 years, and then they got Jake Plummer, and they were pretty good.
But what about the Cutler golden years?
Oh, man. I loved Cutler.
Yeah. He seemed to really blossom in Denver. He's never captured that again.
So, yeah, he just had so much potential, and the
upside.
Then the new coaching regime came through, and it's like, we don't like you anymore.
Right.
Well, what about Tim Tebow?
Okay, whatever.
Wasn't he there?
Wasn't
that like? Didn't he have his one good game? Wasn't that in the Broncos?
So the one game Tim Tebow went 3 for 18, and they won the game anyway. Which really tells you about his tenure with the Broncos, because they made the playoffs.
Yeah, he was a winner. He was a winner.
They won the West because everybody else was as bad as they were. They were like 7-9, and then they beat the Steelers in the playoffs. And everybody's like, "Oh, Tim Tebow's like the shit," and now he sucks. But
well, when the creator of the universe is on your side, you can win some games.
It's something you might want to think about, Aaron.
Yeah.
He was dog shit, but I had to defend him for way too long. That kind of sucked, but it was fun while it lasted. Now it's kind of funny. He's playing minor league baseball for the Mets.
Right. If Tebow could take them to the playoffs, what do you think the Pope could do?
Oh, well, that depends on if you think the Pope is a Protestant God or if God is a Protestant God or a Catholic God.
He's got that Pope mobile. Like, they'd never lay a hand on. The pass rush couldn't even get to him.
This is for a different podcast.
Yeah,
right. Maybe.
This is a little too philosophical. But despite growing up in Kansas City and hating the Chiefs, you do love the Royals, the baseball team.
The Royals are... Baseball is like my number one love.
I was going to say, before comedy. Did you play growing up?
Yeah. I played in high school, up until high school, and I played a little bit like in the summer leagues after that. But I love baseball. It's my favorite thing.
And who's your hero from? Well, I guess it doesn't have to be the Royals, but who are your baseball heroes?
My favorite baseball player growing up was Mike Sweeney. He played for the Royals for a handful of years, and he was really, really good. But when I was little, they were terrible. Yeah. For a long time.
And they didn't really have a lot of red on their uniform, so you were able to overcome their terrible.
No red at all.
That was a quick one for me.
Also had no green.
Very blue.
Yeah, very blue.
Yeah, very,
No green. No green.
What is
no green?
Because they had no money.
Oh, no money.
Yeah.
But now they've been good, right?
Well, because the economics of baseball is different.
Now, but yeah, they were a couple years ago.
Yeah, but the economics is different. The Royals could not win. It was impossible to get a team that could win 20 years ago because if they developed anybody that was any good, the Yankees or the Red Sox or somebody would just take them.
That's the whole money ball
because they had
thing
10 times more money than anybody else.
Or we would have to trade him like we did with like Carlos Beltran. And
right. Yes.
And all those guys.
Yeah. How we like that 20-year.
We only had our payroll was like $40 million. We could only afford like 2 players that were really good.
That's right. If Carlos
and
Beltran,
made bad decisions.
If he had come up through the Yankees farm system to be a Yankee, he would never left. He'd been a Yankee for 20 years. But instead,
like Jeter.
Instead, Kansas City develops and they have to let him go as soon as his first contract's over because they can't afford to keep him.
Well, now,
but it's different now.
The why is it different now?
The economics is different. All these teams have local TV networks that are able to give them enough money that they can compete with each other.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So with
the Royals, payroll is $100 million more than it was 15 years
exactly
ago.
Right. At least $100 million more. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Because partly because we've been winning and getting some publicity, but also TV deals and all that shit.
Yep.
Well, and now Gary and Drew are both baseball fans, or historically have been. Both, they don't agree on any other team, but they both root for the Braves. Or Gary roots for the Nationals a bit because we lived in DC.
But that Braves thing started as later.
Yeah,
my original team was the Oakland A's.
Okay. Yes, and
the A's.
But yet right now, neither one of them. Every week, I have a question in the outline. Because I do a fucking outline for this podcast. Because
I haven't seen one of these outlines.
I've never seen it.
I do a whole outline. There's supposed to be a format. But anyway,
how's that going?
It's I can't. Well, listen to the podcast and you'll hear it from earlier.
That'll never happen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, Blair. But anyway, I have a line in every week, and it's do we care about baseball yet? And as of last week, it was still no.
Yeah, I'll go to a baseball game and sit there and watch it. I'll read the articles about the things. But 162 game season, it's hard to get worked up in June.
What do you feel the same way, Aaron?
That's why what's that?
Do you feel that same way, or do you feel differently about it?
I love baseball from game 1 to game.
Whenever he's a purist.
It's good. I'm glad to hear it.
Statistics. Trades, everything. In the off season, I pay attention to trades and roster moves.
Oh yeah, well that's the best part.
Gary likes the math of baseball more than watching the game. He likes the trades and the salary cap or whatever the hell else there is.
There's no salary.
The statistics are a lot of fun. It's instead of writing jokes, I'll just get online and look up statistics, which is why I suck at comedy.
Right. No, I mean, I can tell by the list of fucking comedy festivals I read off and the fact that I know that there's at least 3 that I know of just off the top of my head that you've been in that aren't on here. So, yeah. I'd say it's working out okay.
Those comedy festivals, see, that's the thing with comedy festivals. There's not enough straight white guys, so they just put me in them.
Right. Oh, so you're token.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Well, you were given some... You were given some...
Male comedians? What?
Yes. And you were giving...
Crazy.
You were giving some advice on Facebook today. Or yesterday. What's your best... what's your best advice for the new... Because you're hitting your 4-year anniversary or something like that?
Oh, God. It's... it'll be 5 years in January, but I didn't want to get too specific.
Sure.
But my best advice for aspiring stand-up comedians is to work for a major U.S. airline.
Yes.
Because you get to fly for free.
Yeah, and
it doesn't matter if you suck or not.
Right.
You'll get to fly for free regardless.
Right.
So,
and
also
festivals are expensive.
Yeah. They're expensive as shit. Even though I fly for free, I still blow all my fucking money.
Yeah.
Every time I go to a festival. So I don't know how you guys do it that have to actually pay for stuff.
I have a day job should be helping me live a much better lifestyle, and it's not because of comedy.
Yeah.
So that's
my job at the airline is just part-time, so I don't make a ton of money, but I get to fly for free, so that's something.
Yeah.
I guess.
No, that's a big thing.
I like it.
Somebody's got to bang all those stewardesses.
Well, what?
That's right.
And that is not the word we use. We use flight attendant now.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Really? I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Bang.
I was. I don't know what she's talking about.
Somebody's gonna fuck all those stewards.
Right, yes, that's exactly what I was talking
No,
about.
that's what he meant, and
Okay.
I took objection to the phrase stewardess because I'm liberated.
We call them little ladies around
You
here.
know what? Shut up.
We call them sky people.
Yeah. People who go in the sky.
Air skank.
It's not gender specific.
I'm gonna punch you in the nose. You know what?
You didn't think air skank was funny?
You're a terrible human being. You're terrible. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is all about. All right.
Is this a sports podcast?
It's a sports meets comedy meets relationship podcast where a husband and wife discuss sports, fantasy leagues, and their impact on pop culture and relationships,
including their own.
It was really going
But
good.
you know that from the intro that you listened to.
It was going fine until
course.
you got into you guys started talking about comedy, and then all of a sudden it got darker in here.
It got darker. It did.
Right.
You know what? The truth is, we almost never talk to comedians about comedy, but I had just seen this last night, and it was this whole list you did was really funny.
And this is why we don't talk to
and this is why we don't talk to comedians about comedy. So there you go.
We're all just broken records.
Yeah, we're all broken. That's
we're all
for
so
sure.
sad and like, just keep doing it.
Just keep doing it, and it's like, you know what? I bet a lot of people have kept doing it.
Shit.
What's that? Say again?
I said we're all just full of the same generic shit.
Yeah, nobody knows what we're doing.
Platitudes of bullshit.
Keep on trucking.
Yeah, guys, just keep doing this podcast. It's a lot of fun.
It's episode 129, Aaron.
So, Aaron, you don't like red. Tell me more.
All kidding aside, there's a red bird of happiness perched on Lewis's microphone.
Right.
Bright, brilliant
and
red.
now it feels a little ominous.
Yes.
All right. Hey, so listen, one thing we do...
The fuck out of here.
Yeah,
right.
One thing we do with our comedian guests is...
Say it again.
One thing we do with our comedian guests...
It's a bad day to say that.
Yes. To pick the wrong day to stop sniffing glue.
Yes.
Airplane. You probably know that movie, right? Because of the airplane.
Hey. Yeah, we watch that every day, mandatory.
Yep. Training. We put together a very silly game based on their interests. Or what they like and do not like, and we make this game from scratch. It's a brand new game every single week, and
cool.
Yeah, and so we're gonna play that game with you now. 10 questions, and it's notable Royals trivia. Notable Royals trivia, cool. And here's the thing.
Not that cool.
Here's the thing. If you do well, you get nothing. If you do poorly, we'll make fun of you, when we get off the phone. So that's about it.
This is why we do it, baby.
Yeah. All right, notable Royals trivia. Gary, do you want to start?
Sure. Can I just point out I found a piece of paper on the floor, and it's got like all this stuff on it related to the podcast and stuff.
Yeah, it's
Louis,
the outline.
Where did you get one of those?
It was laying on the floor. It was all balled up. I don't know. All right, so
Aaron, you have no idea. Like, so many hours I spend every weekend doing this. It's very sad. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so the shortstop, coach, and manager, though not at the same time as it kind of sounds like when you read that, best known as the manager of the Kansas City Royals during the 1980s and for guiding them to the franchise's first World Series title in 1985.
Who was that?
Dick Hauser.
Yes! Ding, 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 ding. All right, Drew.
The Dick House. All
right, now 8.5 is our.
You already got more
all-time best
questions
scorer.
Right than last week's comedian got about my Irish trivia quiz.
Yeah, Gary did an Irish drinking song trivia quiz last week. It wasn't that cool.
Well, it would have been if anybody
But
was.
you'll know when you go listen to it. All right, go ahead, Drew.
Yeah.
All right, this player and coach for the Kansas City Royals and their AA affiliate, the Wichita Wranglers, he is one of only 3 MLB players, along with Ron Washington and UL Washington, who were products of the Royals Academy. He is a former color commentator for the Royals telecasts. He currently serves as the first base coach of the Kansas City T-Bones of the American Association of Independent Professional Baseball. He was elected to the Jackson County Legislature on November 4th, 2014.
Okay, before you answer, can I just say that there's not one thing in that question that would give... This guy's a Royals expert. He knew Dick Hazard on top of his head. This is an impossible question.
All right, well, give him a different thing then.
Well, I'm just saying.
I know what it is.
Or what is it?
It's Frank White.
Ding, ding, ding,
well, never mind.
ding. Well, I guess it wasn't impossible. Maybe I have some fucking faith
I'm
in
just
Aaron.
curious which of those things you think somebody would know.
I bet he knew about the election and the Wranglers and other stuff.
Okay.
What gave it away for you?
I forgot that he was a manager, but I remember that he was running for office somewhere recently.
All right, good job. All right, number 3. I'll ask number 3 in the notable Royals trivia contest. This Royal was Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland from 20 June 1837 until her death, May 1st, 1876. She adopted the additional title of Empress of India. She married her first cousin, Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, in 1840.
Right.
Their 9 children married into noble and royal families throughout the continent, tying them together and earning her the sobriquet of the Grandmother of Europe. Who was that royal?
Is this Queen Elizabeth I?
No! Oh. Queen Victoria.
Let me tell you something. What threw him off was that by 1840, Gotha had actually become Gehenna. You're a year late on that. I think you confused him with that.
Oh, maybe that was it. Was that it, Aaron?
Yeah, that's an error.
Queen Victoria was the answer we were looking for there. Yeah.
God damn it.
All right, go ahead, Gary. Number 4.
Okay, this hard-hitting royal was King of England from 21st April 1509 until his death. He is best known for his second-base defense and his 6 marriages. And in particular...
That last part was important. Say it again.
Okay, he is best known for his 6 marriages and in particular his efforts to have his first marriage to Catherine of Aragon annulled. His disagreement with the Pope on the question of such an annulment led Henry to initiate the English Reformation.
Why do you got to do that?
I didn't see it until I was just reading it. Why do you have to hit me? Do we strike each other? Is that what we are? We're all about beating each other?
No, that's terrible.
He's just reading a piece of paper he found on the ground.
I know. What the fuck? Separating the Church of England from papal authority and appointing himself Supreme Headquarters of England. Any clue what this might be?
Which royal this is?
Henry VIII.
Yes! Ding, 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 ding. Congratulations.
Oh, wow.
Oof.
Oh, you can't
Donkey
hear
Kong.
it. You can't hear it, but Lewis is playing
Donkey Kong
success song.
Isn't that Mario Brothers, the end of the level?
Was it?
Now we're just... Kong. Yes, it was Mario Brothers. Let them have Donkey Kong.
Excuse me. Never mind. Go ahead, Drew.
All right, here we go. 1975 was widely considered this player's best season in Kansas City. He set career marks in doubles, home runs, runs scored, and RBIs. His 34 home runs in a season were a Royals team record when he retired after the 82 season. He was named the American League Player of the Month in July of 75 for hitting 12 home runs and posting a .365 batting average. He also had an 8-game stretch during which he hit 8 home runs.
Who was that royal?
Was it Amos Otis?
That's a good guess.
No. It was John Mayberry.
I only knew that because he had the most physically intimidating baseball card ever made.
I might give you half a point because I feel guilty about the Queen Victoria thing. You got your second guess. Good job, though. Okay, here we go. I might give you half a point because of this next question. This royal was the last reigning monarch of the Kingdom of Hawaii, beginning January 29th, 1891. Until the overthrow of the Kingdom of Hawaii on January 17th, 1893. She was the composer of Aloha A and numerous other musical compositions. She also authored her biography during her imprisonment following the overthrow. Who was that royal?
What?
Extra point if you could. Extra point if you could earn the complete name she was. If you could say the complete name she was born with.
But we're looking for the name of the last queen.
I don't even know how to
Hawaii.
pronounce that.
Extra point if you can say it in traditional Hawaiian.
Right.
Yes.
Oh God.
Are you kidding
Queen
me?
Mononoke.
That's a good guess.
You know what? Sounds good. Lily Lukalani. Lukalani.
What was her birth name?
Lily Lukalani.
Was Lydia Lily Luluku Walania Wewea and I can't say the last name.
Kamaka Ehi, Blair. Come on.
Kamaka Ehi. That was good, Gary.
Lily of the 7 names, they called her.
Yes, Gary likes Hawaii. Gary is actually probably quoting from Honeymoon in Vegas, if I know Gary well right now.
The 7 pools are here?
Yes, okay.
All right.
Sorry about that one. Queen Lily. Queen Lily is what we were looking for there.
Damn
it. Go ahead, Gare.
Okay.
Perk him up.
This center fielder became the starter for the Royals for most of the 70s. Do we need to go any further?
Also,
no, I think you can get it from that.
Is it Amos Otis?
Yeah, of
course. Ding, 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 ding.
We just said it after all.
I know, but...
John Mayberry?
Right.
Right.
Exactly. All right, go ahead. Number 8, Drew. Do not mess this up.
This emperor has been called the father of Europe, as he united most of Western Europe for the first time since the Roman Empire. His rule spurned that word Renaissance, a period of energetic cultural and intellectual activity within the Western Church. All Holy Roman emperors considered their kingdoms to be descendants of this empire, up to the last emperor Francis II in 1835 and the French and German monarchies. Also, he is a radio personality, blank the god.
Who was that emperor?
Constantine.
Oh, no, that's a good guess.
Good guess. John Constantine, famous banisher of demons and spirits, but you're wrong. It's Charlemagne.
Charlemagne.
Oh, yeah.
Charlemagne.
I like where your head's at, though.
I felt, you were in the right part of the world, more or less, and stuff.
I was in Europe.
I'm giving you, I think it was roughly the right time.
And if you think that one was hard, good luck with this one.
It's like the opposite ends of the Roman Empire.
Right. Okay, well, I can see you're excited. We've got 2 more to go. You're doing very well. Number 9.
Thank you. I studied.
Yes. This third baseman had 3,154 career hits. The most
George Brett.
Yay! Ding, 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 ding.
These questions are all roughly equal, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I'd say so. All right, and now for the final question.
You might get this one.
You might.
Number 10. This emperor was the founder of the Mongol Empire, which became the largest contiguous empire in history after his death. Although known for the brutality of his campaigns, this royal is also credited with bringing the Silk Road under one cohesive political environment. This brought communication and trade from Northeast Asia into Muslim Southeast Asia and Christian Europe, thus expanding the horizons of all 3 cultural areas.
Who was that emperor? Mongol.
Genghis Khan.
Yay! Hey. Ding, 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 ding,
there
ding. All right. Well, you did a solid job here. I'd say 1, 2, 3.5, 4.5, 5, 6.5, way above average.
Oh yeah, what's the record? Like 8?
8.5. 8.5.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah, Chris Calgaro got 8.5. Chris Calgaro and Pranav Bahari, I think,
yes,
got 8.5 as well. It's only recently we
had
to
kill him.
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should.
I was busy drinking at school. I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah, well, I think you should. All right, Aaron, well, do you have anything else coming up? Any dates, any festivals, any, album release parties?
I'm doing Trial by Laughter in Indianapolis in a week.
All right. Well, that sounds...
At some comedy club.
Huh.
All right. Well, that sounds fun.
I got
Trial by Laughter.
Baby.
What's that?
What?
What did you say that made you laugh to yourself?
I don't know anything about that competition, but I'm in it.
Okay, so. Well, good. No, I know how you feel. Well, we've loved having you on.
Good luck with that.
And we've also very much enjoyed meeting you in person when you were down here.
I actually just Googled that really quickly. Let me tell you what it is. You take a real life role as someone accused of vehicular manslaughter, and if you can't make the DA laugh during the trial, you get convicted.
Wow, that's some high
very
stakes.
Challenging.
Very high stakes.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron. Thank you so much. We will talk to you soon. Have safe travels.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye,
man. How we going, man?
All right, guys.
Wow, that's a good idea for a comedy show.
Well,
I like that idea.
High stakes. It will get to be like Running Man eventually.
Right.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap us up for this week. To download all our episodes and everything extra we put out, subscribe in iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Find us at Facebook and Instagram or at myfantasywife.com. Thank you, Mr. Bishop, for taking us out with the jazz trumpet stylings of Mr. Al Hurt.